For decades, space exploration was a contest between the United States and the Soviet Union, a Cold War race for national pride and technological supremacy. NASA led the way, putting humans on the moon and sending probes to the edge of the solar system. But the old story has ended. Today, on October 5, 2025, we live in a new era of space exploration, shaped by governments, private companies, and global ambitions. The race is no longer just about flags. It's about building outposts, harnessing resources, and establishing a lasting human presence beyond Earth. The biggest shift: private enterprise. Companies now launch rockets for business, not just science. Meanwhile, a new national power has emerged: China, with a determined vision for space. This is not your parents' space race. It's a contest for economic, strategic, and scientific dominance. The quiet of the cosmos has been replaced by the roar of new engines and ambitions. Two main protagonists now drive the story: SpaceX and China's national space program. Their rivalry is reshaping our access to orbit, our plans for the moon, and our view of Earth itself. This is the story of the 21st century space race, written launch by launch. At the heart of this new era is SpaceX, led by Elon Musk, which has revolutionized spaceflight by making rockets reusable. In the past, rockets were single-use, making space travel prohibitively expensive. SpaceX changed that, landing rockets back on Earth and slashing costs. In 2024 alone, SpaceX launched 138 of America's 145 orbital missions, more than most countries combined. Launches have become routine, opening space to more satellites, science, and commerce. But SpaceX isn't just about launches. In 2024, it enabled the first commercial spacewalk and made major advances with its next-generation Starship. A test flight even saw a Super Heavy booster caught by the launch tower's Mechazilla arms, a step toward rapid reusability and Mars missions. NASA now relies on SpaceX, using its rockets for flagship missions like Europa Clipper and ESA's Hera. SpaceX is no longer just a contractor, it's a critical partner and a competitor. The company has proven that private industry can lead in space exploration. The paradigm has shifted. Launches are faster, cheaper, and more ambitious than ever. SpaceX's relentless pace is setting the standard for the world. The new space age is here, and it's commercial. And while SpaceX transforms private spaceflight, China's space program has become a global leader. The China National Space Administration, or CNSA, is no longer just catching up, it's setting new standards. In 2024, China's Chang'e 6 mission landed on the moon's far side, collected samples, and returned them to Earth, a scientific first. China's launch activity is surging, with 68 launches in 2024 and a rapidly growing commercial sector. Private Chinese companies now play a key role, mirroring the US model. Challenges remain, as shown by a commercial rocket failure, but China's ambitions are undeterred. The Long March 10 rocket, set to fly by 2027, will carry astronauts to the moon. An even larger Long March 9 is in development, aiming to rival NASA and SpaceX. China is building the infrastructure for a sustainable deep space presence. The Dragon has awakened, with its eyes set on the moon and beyond. The global balance in space is shifting. The moon is once again the focus of international competition, this time for a permanent foothold. Two visions are emerging: NASA's Artemis program and China's International Lunar Research Station, or ILRS. Artemis aims to land astronauts, including the first woman and person of color, on the moon's south pole by 2028, using a mix of government and commercial hardware. The Lunar Gateway will orbit the moon, serving as a staging point for future missions. China targets its first crewed lunar landing by 2030, building the ILRS with Russia and other partners. Their plan includes a permanent base and even a nuclear reactor for power by 2035. The race is driven by the discovery of water ice at the lunar South Pole, a resource vital for life and rocket fuel. The first nation to harness this water will gain a major strategic edge. This is more than a race for science. It's a contest for the resources that will shape humanity's future in space. The stakes have never been higher. Space is no longer just for science. It's a critical military domain. The US and China are locked in a strategic contest for control of Earth orbit. Satellites are essential for communications, navigation, and intelligence, but also create vulnerabilities. China has rapidly expanded its military space capabilities, tripling its reconnaissance satellites in 6 years. Both nations are developing technologies to disrupt or destroy enemy satellites, from lasers to co-orbital inspector craft. The risk: a future conflict could extend into orbit, threatening the global infrastructure we all depend on. The US military is turning to commercial providers like SpaceX's Starshield to boost resilience. The new military frontier is above our heads, and the stakes are global. The new space race is visible in the rise of mega-constellations, vast networks of satellites providing global internet. SpaceX's Starlink leads with thousands of satellites already in orbit and more planned. China is racing to build its own rival networks, including Guowang, G60 Starlink, and Honghu 3, aiming for over 10,000 satellites. This is a direct challenge to SpaceX's dominance and a battle for the world's future internet backbone. These networks have strategic implications. In conflict zones, satellite internet can be a lifeline. Whoever controls these constellations wields immense influence over information and access. But the rapid deployment raises concerns. Astronomers fear interference, and the risk of space debris grows. A single collision could trigger a chain reaction, threatening all satellites. Managing orbital traffic and sustainability is now a critical challenge. The mega-constellation race is about more than connectivity, it's about control. The outcome will shape the future of space and life on Earth. As competition intensifies, nations are forming alliances around the US and China, redrawing the geopolitical map of space. The US leads through the Artemis Accords, a framework for peaceful, cooperative exploration, now signed by over 36 countries. The accords promote transparency, data sharing, and responsible behavior in space. China, meanwhile, is building its own coalition around the ILRS, with Russia and partners like the UAE, Brazil, and South Africa. The ILRS is a concrete project to build a lunar base, offering an alternative to the US-led model. These blocks reflect diverging visions. The US emphasizes private enterprise and shared values. China's approach is more state-driven. The world is splitting into two camps, each with its own rules and standards. This division could complicate future global cooperation, especially for missions beyond the moon. The alliances we form now will shape the next era of exploration. The US and China may dominate headlines, but space is now a global stage. Russia remains a major power, celebrating the 2000th launch of its R-7 rocket and setting endurance records on the ISS. India's space program is advancing rapidly, with private companies assembling satellites and new missions to the Moon and Mars. Japan achieved a pinpoint lunar landing with its SLIM mission, while US company Intuitive Machines landed Odysseus on the Moon. Many nations are joining the Artemis Accords, signaling a truly international future. The cosmos is no longer a duopoly, it's a mosaic of nations and companies. Each brings unique strengths, making space richer and more complex. Collaboration and competition now go hand in hand. The future of space is global, diverse, and more exciting than ever. We stand at a turning point in human history. The race between SpaceX and China has shattered old paradigms and accelerated our journey into the cosmos. This competition is driving rapid innovation. Reusable rockets, robotic moon bases, and global satellite networks. Costs are falling, and access to space is expanding, but risks remain: division into rival blocks, militarization, and the potential for conflict or environmental disaster in orbit. The challenge is to balance competition with cooperation, ensuring space remains peaceful and sustainable. The stars belong to everyone, not just a few nations or companies. Our choices now will define the future, whether we repeat old mistakes or build a new era of exploration. The story of our shared future in space is being written, launch by launch. The next chapter is up to us.